And you know the program that always commences exactly at 2 p.m. I'm talking about Whistle Time. The duration of the show is only 1 hour. And within the 1 hour, I promise I'll be giving a lot. I know there are so many things that continues to transpire, both local and also in international sports. Not forgetting about what's happening in continental football. I can confirm to you as a highlights. Today, we have in the CAF Champions League quarterfinals, I should say the knockout stages, they are bouncing back with so many games on card, around 4 of them, the likes of Mamelodi Sundowns. You talk about teams like Al Ahly, you talk about Al Hilal, so many of them. My name is Oraku Benson Pastore, and also English Premier League, the Africans' favorite league in Europe, is also bouncing back. After 1 week of international break, the likes of Nottingham Forest up against Manchester United. Arsenal will also be having a date with the likes of Wolves will also be playing their game. Meanwhile, Chelsea's game with Spurs in the London Derby, which is actually the biggest game in match day 30, will be on Thursday. And also in Spanish Primera Division, also in Italian Serie A, games continues to transpire. As I said, today is 1st of April. That means we are starting the new month in style. And also locally here, a very big story, of course. The fans will be expecting a lot from me as far as the discussion about the fate of Onduparaka is concerned. I can confirm to you right now, rumors are circulating in social media handles. You go to people's status, you go to Facebook, you go to Twitter. Rumors are circulating that Onduparaka Football Club chairman, that's Nyakuni Benjamin, has suspended the club's activities until further notice. Of course, we'll also be touching something vividly about that particular story. What about the regionals? I'm not talking about the regional league. I'm talking about the inter-school regional competition. It's also set to commence on 10th of this particular month. And so many people who do follow school football so much will also be expecting a lot from the guy that's in front of the lens right now. Not forgetting about the regional league, the third tier of Ugandan football. I know outside there, people may want to know how these clubs are performing, the fates of these clubs, the likes of Odamachako, how they are performing in Ebisendo, how many games are remaining for them to see that they seal the qualification, Kuruva Rainbow. So many of them, what you only need to do is you keep it locked to that West Nile TV. We are lighting up the region. I should say we are lighting up the whole world, because we don't only tackle regional stories. We go abroad. We talk about teams in Asia. We talk about teams in South America. We talk about teams in Europe and also continental stories. What about in StarTimes Uganda Premier League? I can confirm to you StarTimes Uganda Premier League will be bouncing back after tomorrow. That means StarTimes Uganda Premier League will be bouncing back on Thursday with so many games on card. But still, the battle seems to be between the two teams. I am talking about the team of Vipers and NEC FC, because the likes of Bull FC, you talk about Kasasiro Boys, they seems to be far away from the slot of the competition to see that they win the gong. I should say openly, it will either go into the hands of NEC FC or as Vipers at the end of the season. And I want to say we go systematically and we commence everything with what's happening in inter-school regional competition. As I had said earlier on, these games are set to commence on 10th of this particular month. 10th of this particular month, of course, will be next week on Thursday, but the reporting day will be on Wednesday, that's 9th. And so many teams that actually did seal the qualifications from the districts, they're actually preparing. From Arua City, we have in around 6 schools, right from the boys sector and also in girls sector, that are going to compete at the regional level. Remember, the defending champions, Mvarasine Secondary School, also did seal the qualification again after penalty shootout win over St. Joseph's College Ombati. We all remember the other Thursday, last Thursday, how things transpired in Arua City as far as the finals of the intercity ball games are concerned. And let's take a look at the teams that are going to represent the mother city. I'm talking about Arua City. The champions, Arua Public Senior Secondary School, is one of them in boys football. We have got that's Arua SS, or Arua Secondary School. The runners up, they lost into the hands of Arua Public Senior Secondary School in the penalty shootout in the final. And we have got the defending champions, as I had said, in Mvara Senior Secondary School. These are the schools that are going to represent the mother city, the almighty city. We have in West Nile, Arua City, they are going to represent the city in the regional tournament. And then from ladies sector, as from girls football, we have got Ediofe Girls Senior Secondary School. They love calling themselves Megs. They are actually the champions from Arua City in girls football after beating Tarantino in the finals. And another school is Tarantino, as I had said, they are the runners-up. Not forgetting about Excel Global Memorial. Excel Global Memorial did beat Mvara Girls in the third playoffs position there. That means in total, we have 6 schools from Arua City. And from Arua District, we have schools like Nile High Odia, they are the champions. After emerging victorious over St. Augustine Senior Secondary School, I remember the game ended by 2-1, and we have got St. Augustine, the runners-up. Not forgetting about Usindi Senior Secondary School. It's going to be their 3rd successful season to play in the regionals. Usindi, they did beat aside Vora Senior Secondary School in the 3rd playoffs position. These are the schools that are going to raise the flag of Arua District in the upcoming regional competitions of the secondary schools. And then in girls sector, we have got Logri Girls Senior Secondary School. The one against Bondo Army in the 3rd playoffs position. Rather, in the one against Usindi Senior Secondary School in the 3rd playoffs position. And we have got Bondo Army, not forgetting about Mvura Senior Secondary School. Mvura Senior Secondary School, we have got Logir Girls Senior Secondary School, not forgetting about Bondo Army. These are the schools from girls category that are going to represent Arua District in the inter-regional ball games that shall be hosted by Maracha District. And I know so many might be unaware of where these games are going to be taking place. Remember, in 2022, it was hosted in Greater Alu region. Then in 2023, it was taken to Greater Madi region, hosted by Ajuman district. Last year, it was hosted by Koboko municipality. And this year, the bid was won by Maracha district. That means, I want to repeat it again, Maracha district is actually the host of this year's inter-regional ball games for secondary schools, and the particular school from Maracha district is actually Maracha SS Senior Secondary School. Right now, schools are for preparations, and I can confirm to you this evening at 4 p.m. exactly is when there will be a cracker in Arua City in a friendly encounter between Mvara Senior Secondary School up against Arua Public Senior Secondary School, and this game will be played, or shall be played at Arua PTC. This is how, of course, the schools are actually doing massive preparations. Remember, the tournament is a nationwide tournament. It started at the district level, others were at the city level, and now transpiring to the regional level. After that, we will be seeing nationals coming. So that is the latest update I can give you as far as the regional competition for the secondary schools, both for the boys and girls are concerned. Let's leave that one there, and we talk about Western Nile Regional League. And in Western Nile Regional League, things are happening, and some of the teams are about to seal qualifications for the playoffs. Teams like Odamatako Central Football Club, I can confirm to you, they are only left with something of around 4 to 5 wins for them to seal the qualifications, and it shall depend on how the teams that are following them keenly are performing, the likes of Koboko Rising Stars. You may mention teams like Total. It will depend on how they'll be performing in the upcoming encounters, but I want to confirm to you, in Nile Zone, Odamatako Central seems to be running away with the gong of Nile Zone. We are waiting to see. Total started the season very well, but in the last few games, they have not been performing very well. Ever since being hammered by Ball in Stanbic Uganda Cup round of 16 rather, things have not been working out so well for the team of Total. But for Koboko Rising Stars, they have been picking mixed results, and these two teams, they are the only teams that can give running nose to the team of Odamatako Central Football Club. So we are waiting to see how things are going to end at the end of the season. And also in Nyagaki Zone, the team in the names of Nebi Central, they're also performing very well. They're only left with a few wins also to seal the qualifications. I mean that to finish on top in Nyagaki Zone. But a team in the names of Pakwasi Youngsters, They are also following them keenly, but the points gap seems to be too much between Pakwati Youngsters and the team of Nebi Central. Unfortunately for Nebi Central, every season, unlike in the last season, they have always been sealing the qualification to come for the playoffs at Ababet. But at the end, they have been losing it into the hands of the teams that are from Nile Zone. Remember, they lost into the hands of Calvary. They also lost into the hands of Coach Urban. Last season was for Paida Black Angels. This season, we are waiting to see how, of course, things are going to happen for the team of Nebi Central. I should say 80% they seems to be running away with the gong, or as the trophy, as far as topping Nyagak Zone is concerned. Let's leave the stories about Western Nile Regional League there, because today is still Tuesday. The games are bouncing back, I should say, over the weekend. And also one thing, of course, you don't have to forget is starting from next week, there shall be no regional league. And it has been happening every season, because most of the match officials shall be shifting their focus to inter-school ball games. Remember, in Western Nile region, I should say, in Uganda at large, we only having very few match officials. When I talk about match officials, you know that I'm talking about the referees. Actually, the focus shall be shifted to the upcoming inter-regional ball games for the secondary schools. That means, starting from next week, the regional league shall be at a pause. That is the latest update I can give you. But still, after the regional inter-school ball games, regional league shall be bouncing back. And this one takes our trend to how things are happening in big league. And I know the biggest story the fans shall be expecting from me is all about the situation at Ababet Greenlight Stadium, whereby Onduparaka, of course, is not performing very well. Ever since the bounce back of the second phase of the season, they are yet to win a game. They have so far played 5 games. All of them are defeats. Unfortunately, the issue here is, remember, Onduparaka is a team that has not been, that is actually known of not losing games easily at Ababet Greenlight Stadium. If I can remember last season, they only lost, I think, very few games. If not one, it might only be 2. But this season, actually in the second phase of the season, they are not performing very well, both in away fixtures and also fixtures that are played on home soil. So what is happening at Onduparaka is, of course, what everyone wants to know. And the latest report indicates that, and the rumors, I should say, rumors are circulating that the club chairman, that's Nyakudu Benjamin, has actually suspended all the club activities until further notice because of the vandalism caused by the fans after that narrow defeat into the hands of Ntukaseze. Remember, on Sunday, Onduparaka sadly and narrowly lost into the hands of Ntukaseze. And this is a team before Onduparaka losing into the hands of Ntukaseze. Ntukaseze actually was sitting in the relegation zone, and after winning the game, they have come on top of Onduparaka Football Club, and fans, they were rioting. What's happened with the club? Why is it that the club is not picking results? And I remember the first phase of the season ended very well for the team of Onduparaka Football Club, finishing, I think it was, if not in the 4th position, it was in the 5th position, and the fans were yearning for more. And at the beginning of the season, because of the positive results they were registering, people anticipated them as one of the contenders to go back to the StarTimes Uganda Premier League. But now, ever since the bounce back of the second phase of the season, things are really running in a negative way for the team of Onduparaka Football Club. Right now, the stakeholders are not happy. When I talk about stakeholders in football, fans are one of them. You talk about the players, technical team members, including the coaches. Right now, they are not happy of what is happening at the club. There might be something fishy at the club, but I can confirm to you, unless we bring the public relations officer for the club, that's a football Owen, to speak about it. So many people may not know what is happening at the team of Onduparaka Football Club. What we only know is, yes, the results are not coming out. Why is it that the results are not coming out? I should say, Onduparaka Onduparaka, I should say, is one of the small gods for the Western Islands at large. One of the small gods for the entire fans we have in Western Nile region, because before actual Onduparaka coming on board, I should say, registering that qualification to the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, trust me, most of the Western Islanders, they never had knowledge about Ugandan football. I think the few clubs Western Islanders knew about were clubs like KCCA, maybe Sports Club Villa. Even they never had much knowledge about Vipers, because by then, Vipers was called Bwanamaya. I remember when they were still called Bwanamaya, very many people never had much knowledge about Vipers. Vipers is just a team of transition. They have just been known in Ugandan football, and it's their brilliant performance that has made them to be known all over the world. But Onduparaka Football Club, trust me, this is a club that has opened the eyes of the Western Islanders to start following Ugandan football. Before, Western Islanders were all rallied behind us European sports. They were following teams we have in Europe. But ever since the emergence of Onduparaka Football Club, at least right now, 50% of the Western Islanders, it has even gone up to 70%. At least they have knowledge about StarTimes Uganda Premier League. They have knowledge about that big league. Even right now, you can ask a Western Islander, he or she can be able to mention all the teams that are playing in StarTimes Uganda Premier League, whereas in Bet Powerful for big league. But by then, 10 years back, most of the Western Islanders never had knowledge about Ugandan football. It's actually Onduparaka that has been the brain master about exposing Western Islanders to Ugandan football. Now, the club is drastically down. The club is drastically going down. Why is it that the club is going down? What is the challenge? Can the issues be sorted? Is one thing, of course, everyone should be asking him or herself of. Yes, I think it's the right time for the fans of Onduparaka Football Club to know what is happening at the club. Is it a financial challenge? Is it what? Yes, of course. Stakeholders must know so that they can come on board to rescue the club. Yes, I cannot say that it's financial challenge. That is the reason as to why I was saying that the issue is best known by the board members. And one day, the public relations officer for the club, Football Owen, will come in the studios to speak about this one. What is happening at the club? It might be fatigue of the players. That's why the club is not registering results. Yes, it might be true. Maybe inadequate as lack of motivation for the players. This might also be one of the reasons as to why the club is not performing very well. Yes. As a player, when you are not motivated, maybe the areas are not cleared. Of course, the motivation cannot be at 100% to register results. But I'm not saying that what is happening at the club is financial challenge. I'm just trying to anticipate. It might also be financial challenge, but we don't know. What I'm trying to say is Onduparaka is one of the mighty clubs we have in Western Nile region. And if you go all over the country, at least everywhere you rate, someone at least talks about Onduparaka Football Club. If I can flash back, there was a time I was watching a game in Okokoro, and we had a visitor from that side of central Kampala. He asked me, where is Onduparaka Football Club? I'm a fan of Onduparaka Football Club, but of late they are not performing very well. Where are they playing their games? I love them, I fall for them, but I don't know where they are playing their game. I wish one day someone takes me to where they are playing their game. That's why I'm saying it's not only known in Western Nile region, it's actually a countrywide known club. I'm talking about the team of Onduparaka Football Club. It will be absurdity if we see a pioneer we have in Western Nile region going just drastically down like that. I'm talking about the team of Onduparaka Football Club. It's the right time for the stakeholders to come on board to see that the club is rescued. But before every stakeholder comes on board, at least board members, technical team members must first raise the challenges, the concerns, the fishy things that are happening at the club before the rest of the stakeholders they come on board to see how they can actually be in position to rescue the club from going down into the relegation zone to play in Western Regional League. Right now, where the club is sitting, they sit somewhere 11th on the log with only 22 points, with only a point gap of 1 between Onduparaka Football Club and the team that is sitting next. That means a defeat for them in the next encounter, of course, shall drop them. In case the other team behind them wins, that means Onduparaka will become a relegation candidate. The next encounter for them will be an away trip, that's in Entebbe, up against Gaddafi. Gaddafi, unfortunately and ironically, Gaddafi is one of the teams right now performing very well. They're actually sharing the cakes of the peak with the teams like Black's Power. So they are performing very well. It may be a tough encounter for the team of Onduparaka Football Club. That is the latest update I can give you. I know I've taken several minutes to talk about this particular encounter. So let's leave that one there and we talk about that's Star Times Uganda Premier League. Before we talk about Star Times Uganda Premier League, remember the team of Onduparaka Football Club is not the only club we have in Western region. Other clubs are there, and someone outside there may want to know how, of course, these teams are performing. You talk about teams like Calvary Football Club, Paida Black Angels, how they are performing. And I need to give you how the results transpired over how the results actually transpired over the weekend, with so many games on the card, with Arrow Hill, of course, also not performing very well. They were thrashed by Tige's homeboys, which ended by 3-0. Meanwhile, for Boma lost into the hands of PBA. I'm talking about Paida Black Angels by 1-0 there. So these are the things that transpired. For the game between Boma and Paida Black Angels, it was played a week ago. Boma PBA, this game was actually played on 16th of March. Onduparaka being beaten by Ntugaseze by 1-0, with the Chinda boys beating aside Busoga by 3-0. Karo Karunzi were 1-0 winners over Boma, with the Calvary playing out a barren draw with the team of Gaddafi. I think a positive result for the team of Calvary, because Calvary picking a draw up against the team of Gaddafi is not an easy result. The team of Ntugaseze also beaten PBA by 1-0. Kataka lost into the hands of Black's Power by 1-0. And Onduparaka, we are waiting to see how things will end for them. And let's now take a look at how things are happening in the Champions League of Africa. It's about to always talk about UEFA Champions League, Copa Libertadores, Copa Sudamericana, Asian Champions League. Yes, we are the Africans. We need to also believe in our Champions League. That means our Champions League is bouncing back today with 4 games to be played. Yeah, it will be something I don't call when I see Champions League of Africa today. And I start talking about Real Madrid, Arsenal, AC Milan, Inter Milan. No, let's start from the African soil. The defending champions, Al Ahly, they having a date with Al Hilal Omdurman. Al Hilal is a team from Sudan. Meanwhile, Al Ahly, of course, the Real Madrid from African soil. Why am I saying that they are the Real Madrid, the Los Blancos from African soil? Because they have won the competition more than any other team. I'm talking about CAF Champions League, and also in Egyptian Premier League, they also performing very well. And their game will be at 10 p.m. It's actually the first league encounter in the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League. Al Ahly Sports Club up against Al Hilal. And then at 4 p.m. exactly is when Esperance from Tunisia will be taking a trip away to das Mamelodi Sundowns of South African Premier League, with MC Alger of Nigeria having a game up against Orlando Pirates of South Africa. And the last game will be between FOS Rabat taking a trip away to Pyramids of Egypt. Interestingly, some of the countries are having 2 representatives here. Like for Egypt, they have in Al Ahly and Pyramids. Meanwhile, for South Africa, they have in Mamelodi Sundowns, and that's Mamelodi Sundowns, and also Orlando Pirates. What about in Tunisia? In Tunisia, we have got Esperance and FOS Rabat. FOS Rabat is a team from Morocco with the likes of Wydad Casablanca, what. So many of them there. With Algeria having one representative called the MC Alger. At least South Sudan is also representing East African community with a team in the names of Al Hilal. Can they be able to surpass Al Ahly? Is actually what everyone is waiting to see. It's like this game is like Real Madrid taking on Steaua Bucharest. So we are waiting to see. Let's not underrate any team this particular moment. And I want us to talk about, before we talk about English Premier League, remember Al Ahly is actually the record champions, and at the same time they are the defending champions. And also today we have a very big encounter. It will be a game between the Los Blancos up against Real Sociedad. That means Real Madrid, they are staying at home as they welcome Real Sociedad. It's actually the reverse fixer of the semi-finals of the Copa, not Copa rather. It's the name was just Copa del Rey. Yes, Copa del Rey. Real Madrid, the first leg, it was at Real Sociedad home. It ended by 0-0 in favor of Real Madrid. This time, they are at home in small heaven. You know, me, I love calling Santiago Bernabeu small heaven, because every player's dream is to play in small heaven. That's at Real Madrid. This time they'll be sitting at small heaven as they welcome Real Sociedad. Is there any other game? Yes, in Coppa Italia semi-final also, Bologna will be taking a trip away to Empoli. Not Bologna, it's called Bologna. They are taking a trip away to Empoli. And then also in France, Coupe de France semi-final, Paris Saint-Germain, of course, will have to leave Principality des Parcs des Princes as they travel away to Dunkirk. And also in German DFB Pokal, Bayer Leverkusen of Alonso is taking a trip away to Amiens Bielefeld. What about in Argentina Primera National Zone A? Atlanta, there was a game in the morning between Atlanta and Quimles. It ended by 2-0 for the team of Atlanta. Let's leave that one there, and we take our chapter back to English Premier League. English Premier League is bouncing back today, and the biggest story for Arsenal fans is all about the bounce back, the return of Bukayo Saka, their messiah from a long time injury. This time will be featuring for the Gunners of Fulham, and this game will be at Emirates, not at Private Cottage. Remember, Fulham has always been a tough team for the Gunners in the recent years, so everyone is waiting to see how things will happen in this particular encounter. But Arsenal, they are having an upper hand to win the game against Fulham, because Fulham right now the form guide is not favoring them. Recently, they were beaten. They were actually knocked out in FA Cup quarterfinals. So we are waiting to see. This game actually will be at 9:45 p.m. I want to repeat it again, because so many people always tend to misquote us that sometimes we talk about these fixers, we tend to confuse them with the time frame for the fixers. I want to repeat it again. 9:45, as a quarter to the hour of 10 p.m. is when Fulham will be visiting Arsenal at Emirates. The same time, the Hammers, that's West Ham, will be traveling away to Molineux to take on Wolves. And the last game will be at 10 p.m. between the team of Manchester United and Nottingham Forest. And Manchester United, in this particular encounter, they are the away team. They are traveling to Nottingham Forest. By the way, the time zone has changed. I want to emphasize this one. The time zone has changed. Games that used to start at a quarter to the hour of 11 p.m. This time they are starting at a quarter to the hour of 10 p.m. And games that used to start exactly at 11 p.m. This time they are commencing exactly at 10 p.m. This is actually the latest update I can give you as far as the fixtures are concerned in relation to the change in the time zone. Can we first go for break? Then I will bounce back in the second stanza. then we will be analyzing these games one by one. My name remains Orak Benson Pastore in front of the lens at the moment. It's actually the so-called Whistle Time. Whistle Time is actually the rebranded name for the sports show at Western TV that starts at 2 p.m. up to the hour of 3 p.m. Let's first go for the break. I'll be bouncing back shortly.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. It's time to break free with Azam TV. Grab yourself a full kit at 80,000 shillings or an Azam decoder at 40,000 shillings. Experience the thrill of every goal in La Liga, Italian Serie A, German Bundesliga, and the excitement of live sports action from the Saudi Pro League and Carabao Cup on Azam Plus and Play Package in HD. Your favorite China Uganda movies on Chambuka TV on Azam Pure for just 13,000 shillings monthly. Unlock a world of sports and entertainment with Azam TV, the most affordable Play TV around. Visit any of our agents or call 0312-308-900 for more details.
Azam TV, entertainment for everybody.
Idozo mijoezelea kanikumijirania yi atizaro dika angutsi yi yani itozwa azwaleni hadi maliasi azo malaria niri ebi otekwa ini kanikupa waraini sandife pe orimabedi meko aro azo malaria atrizu paniomve Mr. Vaxa itabo idozu dio azo malaria niri ebi amani drikaza fe kaniku sandife amani dika anzinyiri amavudi ipie erife baruetini ao kokoko Revini Tandife Bednindi Tesadisi Gamente Amadi Uganda Niri Usugeriko di Azodi Atrizuri Bo Aro Malaria Atrizudi Basadisi Riso Parialua Aro Azidi Pie Aro Malaria Atrizudi Beriso Grikondundu Susi Imbazia Imbaziri Imbaro Vini Mbamudiniaro Aronde malaria vore remi azako azo malaria niri atrizu Grikondundu se Dika midimave arwazi ndundo di ayutasiku askuni erianzi nyiri bavuri mazako azondundo di kiatrizo aro azindundo di dia zako mafeindi mitodimu arozo miagaya inyari ara mitodimu aro malaria atrizo Mr. Vaxa isura eri nani azekoko eri aro azeala etozo mirua tambazo deleni iyo nizudini angeri mitodi okalamvo alata niriomve yakani nukuta toko aro toko toko alo toko 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 azia madria udukore jipi midire ri okalamvo alata nere.
In the dance of shadows and light lies the heart of Uganda's resilience amidst the challenges of the night, where innovation meets necessity and education refuses to be dimmed, where connection thrives in the absence of power. Embrace the power of the sun with StarTime's solar range of solutions. And empower your journey towards a brighter tomorrow. StarTime Solar. Power your life.
West Nile TV.
thanks for always keeping it locked to Western Television channel 477. That's on Start Times, and also on Zook we are there. Not forgetting about all the social media handles. And I want to tell you, if you don't have TV next to you, you can go to our social media handles. In Twitter we are there. In YouTube, that's where you can stream the programs at Western Television. We're always there to give the best for you. Our role is to inform you as a viewer, and that's what we do. Back to the business of what's happening in the world of sports. I had already given you the fixtures to be played today, with Arsenal having a date with Fulham. Just a reminder again, West Ham traveling away to Wolves, and Nottingham Forest will actually nap the day with a game up against Manchester United. These are the fixtures to be played today in English Premier League. And let's take a look at the statistics. When I talk about the statistics, I need to give you the top scorers. You need to also know the table standing right now, because you may be yearning for a win for your team, to see that this one of course falls, this one goes ahead of this one. Right now, the team which is leading the table is the team of Liverpool. Out of the 29 games they have played, they have 70 points to their names with a positive of 42 goals. Meanwhile, Arsenal comes to the second position with 58 points. The third team on the log is the team of Nottingham Forest. They have 54 points. Remember, this is the second season for the team of Nottingham Forest to play in English Premier League, and right now they are sitting in a slot of Champions League. It reminds me of Leicester City that won English Premier League in 2015-16 season. They came from nowhere, and I think it was also in their second successive season in English Premier League. The first season they were fighting relegation, and second season things got motivated and they won English Premier League. And this time for Nottingham Forest, last season they were fighting relegation, and this season they are fighting for European slot. I mean UEFA Champions League slot. Fourth team on the log is the team of Chelsea with 49 points. Fifth on the log is the team of Manchester City with 48 points. Sixth on the log is the team of Newcastle with 47 points. I may not be able to give you the table standing right from the top up to the bottom. Manchester United, where they are sitting at number 13 with 37 points. In case they beat Nottingham Forest tonight, they will go to 40 points and they will be at 12th position. That's in case Newcastle, together with the other teams, with the Brentford, maybe they cannot be able to surpass Brentford. Even if they win against Nottingham Forest tonight, they will go to 12th position. In case Crystal Palace will mess up in their game tomorrow, Spurs is sitting at number 14 with 34 points. Down in the relegation zone, we have got Ipswich Town, we have Leicester City, not forgetting about Southampton. And for the game between Arsenal and Nottingham Forest, in case Nottingham Forest wins the game against Manchester United, they will still remain in the third position with 57 points, but with a point behind the Gunners. That's in case the Gunners, of course, will be beaten. But Arsenal, if they win their game against Fulham, they will still remain second on the log, because the points gap between themselves and Liverpool is too much, something of around 12 points. That is the latest update I can give you. What about the player statistics? I am talking about the top scorers chart and also the assist chart. Right now, the top scorers, we have got Mohamed Salah is having 27 goals. That means in average, remember we have already played 29 rounds. That means in average, at least Salah has been finding the back of the net in every game he plays for the team of Liverpool. 29 games, 27 goals, that is massive. Erling Braut Haaland is having 21 goals, and Alexander Isak, the player who's right now on form, the most valuable striker at the moment, Alexander Isak, is having 19 goals. What about assists? The player that has provided more assists than any other player is Mohamed Salah, also is having 17 assists out of 29 games. Bukayo Saka comes to 10th position, not 10th position rather, sorry about that, comes to the second position with 10 assists, sharing the same number of assists with Mikel Damsgaard. So they are all having 10 assists to their names. And then combining the two, that's assists together with the goals, Mohamed Salah is now having 44. That's combining the number of goals together with the assists. Meanwhile, Erling Braut Haaland is having 24, the same that is possessed by Alexander Isak. This is the latest update I can give you, and it will be ironical if I don't give the other games. The fixers are still bouncing back tomorrow, with the Bournemouth having a date with Ipswich Town. Meanwhile, for Aston Villa, they will take a trip away to Brighton and Hove Albion. Manchester City will have a date at home as they welcome Leicester City. For Brentford, they are set to lock horns with Newcastle, and this game will be at Newcastle Stadium. I am talking about St. James Park. For Southampton, they still continue to fight, but I don't think their fight will make them to survive. For them, they will have a game with the Crystal Palace. Remember, there are just a few wins remaining for the teams that are out of relegation zone at the moment for Southampton to be confirmed out of English Premier League. After that, they will just be playing for prestige. That's Southampton for you. Meanwhile, for Everton, they will be having a cracker. That's in Merseyside derby up against Liverpool. Everton is traveling away to Liverpool. By the way, one thing, of course, you need to know, which of course so many may not know, is Everton, ever since their former steward and their current steward at the moment, I am talking about David Moyes. Ever since he took over from Sin Dice, he has not lost any game. I am talking about David Moyes for you. The worst for him has been draws. But in FA, at least he has lost because he was knocked out by Bournemouth. But in English Premier League, he has not lost a game. But tomorrow, they are traveling to Anfield. A very tough encounter. Everyone is waiting to see how things will happen in that particular encounter. Remember, in Africa, we don't only have CAF Champions League, we also have the sister tournament. I am talking about, that's a CAF Confederations Cup. That's equivalent to UEFA Europa League, because in Europe we have UEFA Champions League, and the sister tournament is actually UEFA Europa League. And also in Africa we have CAF Champions League, which is equivalent to UEFA Champions League. Not forgetting about the sister tournament, also called CAF Confederations Cup, which is equivalent to UEFA Europa League we have in Europe. And tomorrow we also have in the games with Stellenbosch having a game with Zamalek. Zamalek is one of the teams from Egyptian Premier League. Meanwhile, Simba Sports Club will be traveling away to Al Masry Sports Club, with RSB Berkane traveling away to ASEC Mimosas. And the last game will actually be between CS Constantine up against USM Alger. You should not get confused. Remember, we have in some of these teams, they are very funny. And some of these leagues are very funny. They have so many teams with almost similar names. Like in Morocco, we have Raja Casablanca, Wydad Casablanca. So these are two different clubs. Just like in Algeria, we have USM Alger and SCA Alger. So these are two different clubs. The other one is playing in CAF Confederations Cup, and then the other one is battling it out in CAF Champions League. These are the games that, of course, are set to come tomorrow in CAF Confederations Cup. And then in Spain, Copa del Rey semi-final, Barcelona, of course, will travel away to Atletico Madrid. A very big encounter, interesting encounter. It's going to be tomorrow. Actually, this is the game I'll be following tomorrow. The first leg of this game, interestingly, ended 4-4. It ended 4-4 basketball score line. So this time, Barcelona will be leaving Camp Nou and they will be traveling to Wanda Metropolitan. The first league was at Camp Nou. This time they'll be traveling to Wanda Metropolitan. From 4-4, how it will end is actually what we don't know. Also in Coppa Italia semi-final, very big game also. Unfortunately, these games are all starting at the same time. No, the game between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid is at half past 10. Meanwhile, Inter Milan up against AC Milan, also San Siro derby. A very big encounter it's going to be tomorrow. AC Milan up against Inter Milan. Konoglu, the former employee of AC Milan and the current employee of Inter Milan. Kanoglu is the actual one player I will be watching. AC Milan up against Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid up against Barcelona. Mark the time. Meanwhile, in France, Coupe de France semi-final, Reims will travel away to Caen. It's not called Caen, but it is called Caen. And then in German DFB Pokal semi-final, RB Leipzig will be taking a trip away to Stuttgart. And then in Argentina Cup, Bielefeld will be welcoming Villarreal. Then All Boys travels away to Atletico Tucumán. So let's finalize everything with what's happening in the world of gossips. Remember, the season is almost coming to an end. The curtain is coming closer and closer. So someone outside there may want to know how the clubs are preparing for the transfers. How your club, of course, is doing the scouting, is spotting players. Unfortunately, bad news for Manchester City fans. Remember the game Manchester City played with Bournemouth? Their striker, Erling Braut Haaland, was substituted in the 61st minute because of an ankle injury, and the latest report indicates that this player is likely to miss most of the games for Manchester City this season. The remainder of the season is going to be mostly out for the team of Manchester City. How long is going to be the specific period, of course, has not been indicated yet, but he's going to miss majority of the games for Manchester City until the end of the season. So here comes some of the trending transfer rumors, with Bournemouth expecting something of around 45 million euros for their Hungary fullback, that's Milos Kerkez, 21 years of age, amidst interest from Liverpool, and this has been reported by the Times via subscription required. And also another story is that Manchester City will try to sign Arsenal and France defender William Saliba this summer, with a 24-year-old also a target for the Los Blancos, that's Real Madrid. So we are waiting to see the battle amidst the four parties, that is the player himself, Real Madrid, Manchester City, not forgetting about Arsenal. Whether the player will go to Real Madrid, whether to Manchester City, whether we want to leave Arsenal is what we are waiting to see. Whether Arsenal will accept an offer from any of the clubs is actually what everyone is waiting to see. But the report indicates that Manchester City and Real Madrid, they are very much interested in the signature of William Saliba. And also away from that, AC Milan's Netherlands midfielder, that's Tijani Reinders, 26 years of age, is also a target for Manchester City, having already made a contact with the Serie A club. We are waiting to see Manchester City. Of late, they are having a very good relationship with the AC Milan. That's why they have loaned out their fullback, that's Kyle Walker, to the club. So, will the deal work out for Manchester City? Is what we don't know, but it's yet a rumor. But a rumor may turn to be the fact, because every player's move starts as a rumor, and then the fact is yielded on the table. So let's leave that one there. The possibility of 40-year-old Portugal forward Cristiano Ronaldo, whose contract with the Saudi Pro League side Al Nassr expires in the summer, joining Inter Milan for the Club World Cup, is not a serious one for the Serie A club, and this has been reported by Tuttosport in Italy. So we are waiting to see. That means the report for Inter Milan being linked with a move to sign Cristiano Ronaldo from Al Nassr is yet a rumor, but his current contract with Al Nassr is set to expire at the end of the season. And also away from that, Arsenal are considering Eintracht Frankfurt and France striker Hugo Ekitike, 22 years of age, as an alternative to Newcastle's Swedish goal scorer Alexander Isak, and this has been reported by Daily Mirror. That means Arsenal, they are looking for options, because Alexander Isak at the moment, so many clubs are talking about him. Not forgetting about Liverpool. Chelsea is also another club interested in his signature, and they are looking for options. And the player they have targeted as an option for that, Alexander Isak, is actually a player in the names of Ekitike, who is playing for Eintracht Frankfurt. But Arsenal, they would have signed Alexander Isak. Remember, before Alexander Isak joined Newcastle, Arsenal had been the earlier chaser for the player, including this player who's playing for Athletic Bilbao. The name has just skipped out of my mind, but Arsenal did not lure his services. Right now, they are fighting over his signature with the other clubs. And at Chelsea, Chelsea are not currently expecting to sign a new first-team goalkeeper in the summer. Blues boss Enzo Maresca will instead allow 25-year-old Serbian George Petrovic, currently on loan with Strasbourg, and highly rated Belgian Mike Penders, 19 years of age, who is joining from Genk to challenge for the spot. And this has been reported by Telegraph. Subscription required there. So this is the latest update I can give you. as the situation of Chelsea signing a new custodian is concerned. And back to Arsenal. Arsenal and England winger Bukayo Saka will enter new contract talks with Ghana's new sporting director Andrea Bata, keen for the 23-year-old to sign a new long-term deal. And this has been reported by Fabrizio Romano. We know this guy is actually transfer specialist. Whenever something happens and he gets involved into it, know that fact is almost on the way or is at the pipeline. So we are observing it keenly. In case it pops up, Western TV Soccer Pundits, of course, will be able to air it out for you. Remember, we are only left with very few minutes and traveling to Spain. Barcelona said their Spain midfielder Pedri is up for sale amidst is not up for sale amidst reports linking him with Manchester City, who believe the 22-year-old will be the ideal replacement for Kevin De Bruyne. And this has been reported by Marca in Spanish. That means the Catalonian-based club, they are saying no, we are not selling Pedri. But you know, at the initial stages, things might be like this. But when it comes to the closing stages, we see things materializing. So we are waiting to see. Let's keep it on. Former Spurs managing director Fabio Paratici is set to become AC Milan's sporting director in June, when the 52-year-old Italian's current ban from football activities in his homeland ends. So this has been reported by Calcio Mercato in Italian. So I am not I don't speak Italian language. It's called what? It's called the Latin. So but still I can pronounce it. It's called, the paper that has reported this one is called Calcio Mercato. I am a sports pundit. I must know these things. It will be something so ironical and semi-full when I don't know. It's called Calcio Mercato, so in Italian. So this guy, of course, will be coming back as the sporting director for the team of AC Milan. So these are the things, of course, that continues to link here and there as far as transfer is concerned. And you, as a fan of Chelsea, as a fan of Arsenal, as a fan of Liverpool, Real Madrid, Inter Milan, of course, you have your different opinions, concerns, and thinkings as far as the transfers continues to run. It has been Miorak Benson Pastore in front of the lens, doing the whistle time for you. I should say, have the best of your moments till we link tomorrow at the same time to also give you what continues to transpire in the world of sports. Have the best of your moments till tomorrow.